direi che è il momento, se la regia ci supporta, di lanciare il nuovo blocco, il terzo momento, che si chiama Going Global. E infatti questa è una rubrica che, come sanno quelli che seguono il Talks for a Change anche in tutti i suoi appuntamenti, ci porta appunto a interagire con un interlocutore di questo mondo, ovviamente dall'estero. E siamo in compagnia, mi fa piacere presentarla, di Nancy Santorelli. Hi Nancy, can you hear us?
Ciao.
Wow, ciao. Ciao, Nancy is calling from Miami. We see you perfectly. We are here with our guests, so we're very, very happy. Nancy, I never know if I have to speak in English or in Italian with you, because you can speak them both so well. But we'll keep this English, so because it's an international moment. It's our international moment, and we have also people that will follow us on the web and see us from every country. So Nancy Santorelli, she's a native of Boston, Massachusetts. I'll just read out a little bio of you, Nancy, and a graduate of Boston University and Boston Architectural College. She has lived and worked in Boston, Milan, New York City, and Miami. And she's been working with some very well-known, world-renowned studios and designers such as Piero Lissoni and Gensler, for example. And Nancy joined Meyer Davis Studios in 2018. She's associate principal and director of the Miami office. She collaborates closely with clients, for example, international hoteliers, developers, private clients, hotels, and also private luxury yachts. So you have a wide idea of the luxury, what is the word, and then what does luxury mean for you? Maybe I'll ask you later, Nancy. And the Meyer Davis Studio is a multidisciplinary design studio that has just won the Interior Hall of Fame in 2022. So Nancy, we're very glad to have you here with us today and take us through a little trip in the United States to understand if the topics we've been talking about are the same for you over there. I'll just ask you some very quick and easy questions in order to give us an idea. The first that I'd like to ask you, Nancy, is because we noticed that your studio has developed projects of absolute beauty and prestige. So I was wondering, which trends do you foresee in your hospitality sector in Miami and in the United States of America in general? How does it compare to what we've been talking about so far here in Italy?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, and I'm honored to represent Meyer Davis. I think there are a lot of trends that are quite similar to those that you discussed. As I mentioned, I understand a bit of Italian, or very well, and so I may touch upon some points that you all have, but we've entered a new phase of travel. The hospitality market is in a challenging period right now. We've never seen anything like this before. Why is that? The new traveler has new values and higher expectations. There's a return to authenticity, which I think we've spoken of many times, but authenticity while maintaining that level of luxury. I think it's extremely important for the guest to experience a place and really feel why it is special. There's a new desire for a sense of discovery. So the designer, the investor now has a new challenge. How can they create a story for their guests? What are they giving their guest experience, and how to do that through architecture, design, and service is quite important. The new traveler is traveling for longer periods of time, so it's also important for the hotels to feel like home. If they're traveling for a week, 2 weeks, traveling with their family, and also potentially working from that location. So it has to be multifunctional as well. I think we've been seeing a lot of restoration and revitalization of historic and characteristic properties, not only abroad, but also in the US. and in Miami. We've got some great Art Deco buildings on Miami Beach. And I think that it's quite interesting to see those being revitalized and reused and creating a whole new story for the travelers.
Oh yeah, especially I was thinking about that. The search for authenticity that you talk about really matches with the idea that we shared just a couple of minutes ago. Probably luxury is becoming more the idea of really enjoying space and time, not material things, but experiences. So it's very interesting to see that somehow you feel the same in the US. Just to talk a little bit more about you and Meyer Davis Studio, where does the inspiration come from then? For you, for your work as a designer and for the studio as well?
Well, for me personally, I was raised by parents who immigrated from Italy. So I grew up in a multicultural home. I really embraced my Italian background and my culture. We traveled to Italy often, and I was lucky enough to explore much of Italy. So much that I needed to live there and needed to experience it firsthand. That goes for many of my colleagues at Meyer Davis. We're all very well-traveled. I think we appreciate firsthand experiences with a place in order to learn about it, in order to be able to express its authenticity. We don't pretend to know everything about a place or a culture or a history. We really understand that it's important to experience it firsthand. So we'll often travel to that location, study the history and the culture, and even experience the food, interact with locals, engage in and hearing their local stories is very inspiring to us. Local craftsmen, not just integrating local art, but also taking cues from them. How do they utilize materials that are from their place and how to integrate it into our projects?
Very inspiring, Nancy. Let's talk a little bit more of the business side of things now. Can you foresee and share maybe with us some new necessities that you will probably take into considerations when projecting new buildings, new projects in the US that you think maybe will be more and more important in the high-end hospitality of tomorrow, especially after the COVID-19 disease and all these uncertainty that we had, and let's say not only uncertainty but sad times that sometimes we couldn't even travel, and travel is something we love, experience, So can you, on the business side of things, can you see some strategies or some particular features that a high-level destination should have in the future, will need to have in the future?
Absolutely. There's a huge focus on people and wellness. As I mentioned, people are traveling for longer periods of time. We have the flexibility to work remotely, so people are taking advantage of that. They're taking this time not only to relax and rest, but also the flexibility to maybe work from another location while discovering it. So what does that mean from the business and design side is that we need to focus on the amenity spaces of the hotel. It's not just about making sure that the guest room is comfortable and luxurious, but all the amenities within the hotel. Fitness centers, spa, meeting rooms, various F&B locations to create different destinations within the property, whether it be a hotel in an urban setting or a resort.
Nancy, it was a great pleasure to have you here. Thank you for inspiring us with such views that really match what we've been talking here so far. So it's a global and local at the same time world. So we're looking forward to having you here in Rome next time, maybe.
Okay. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.